So it's now recording.
Hi, good morning everybody. I first of all want to thank all of you for coming here to my memorial service. I know that a lot of you have traveled pretty far, have taken airplanes, and you've probably driven in some pretty crappy weather, and I just want to tell you how meaningful this is to me and my family and let you know. There are a couple of things I wanted to talk about today. First and foremost, this is a memorial service, and I would like to think, if I were sitting here with you, that we were all going to have a good time. I want to be remembered as a guy who had a terrific sense of humor, and that's why it's particularly important and meaningful for me today that this be a celebration of my life and not a mourning of my life. Therefore, no room for hankies, no room for Kleenex, no sobbing, no whining, no crying, please. Let's all have a good time, and let's have a good time with the morning and the afternoon as well. I hope you'll all be joining us for our festivities this afternoon following the service. Okay. We got past that obstacle, and now everybody's in agreement, and everybody understands. And after this is shown, and after this is run, I hope that there are people here who have a funny anecdote that they remember about themselves and me that they'd like to relate to everybody assembled here so that we can all have a little bit of a good laugh, okay? So you'll be asked to come up to the podium and to speak a little bit and relay the funny story, if you don't mind doing so. All right. I wanted to relay and let everybody know I had a little bit of an epiphany during my illness, which was challenging to say the least. But I wanted to better understand why was it that I had dedicated a career in my entire lifetime to travel. I worked in all different aspects of travel, from hotels up in the Catskills to airlines to incentive houses to travel agents. You name it. I pretty much did it, but why? Why was I so obsessed with this particular industry? And I suddenly realized that back when I was about 3.5 years old, my father's wife, Annie, came to visit my sister and I during one of his visits, and she brought with her something that I had never, ever forgotten. And that was an emerald green, very hard, very thick covered book called Children of the World. And I remember receiving it, and all I knew at that point was golden books with wafer-thin little covers and baby artistic drawings on the inside, and kind of childish stories. And here was this beautifully bound, very heavy-duty, beautifully printed on very generous, very thick, glossy stock paper. This book with the most tantalizing artwork, beautiful colors, and basically it spoke to the lifestyle of children all around the world. I remember particularly that the very first chapter was about Chinese children in Sichuan province and how cold it was there, and so they slept in beds that actually were made out of bricks, and at night they would come and they would heat the bricks up with wood underneath the beds, and this is how they lived. And they showed the bedroom of this one child with this big oval window, and I remember being so impressed because there wasn't any window pane, and I thought, wow, that sure is different. I've never seen that before, and that's something I'd really like to see. The next thing that happened was my mother's husband, my stepfather George, came and took us down to Times Square, and we went to see this brand new technique in movie presentation called Cinerama. And it was really cool because we were one of the first kids on the block to have seen it, and you got to wear the red and the blue cardboard glasses when you watched this thing. And the movie kicked off with a traveler standing at the end of a runway, and this giant TWA Super Starliner constellation comes roaring down the runway right into your face as you sat there. And it lifted off into the skies, and I thought, wowie zowie, that is very, very exciting. I want a piece of that. I want to fly. It then focused on the aircraft's descent into Cairo over the Giza and the Sphinx and the three pyramids, and I just remember thinking, wow, this is magnificent. I want to see this. I want to experience this. I want to get on a TWA Super Starliner constellation, and I want to fly to Egypt, and I want travel to be incorporated into my life. And now, hopefully, mostly for the benefit of my loving family, Joyce, my wife, who nursed me and put up with me during this very hard. You're going to have to connect it.
Mm-hmm. Should I stop it for now?
Yeah.